Hello and welcome, Solo Guy here. It has been a while since I've done any of these, but I'm back. I've got a new camcorder here, or I should say camera / camcorder. But today what I want to do, I want to look at Flames of War Bagration German unit cards. I already popped this bad boy open, took a look at it. There's 70 cards in here. That's what you get in the box. And typically you're always going to get this. You're going to get two cards that are joined together, and it shows you all the formations that you can get out of the Bagration book for the Germans. Grenadier Company, Hetzer tank hunters, Tiger tanks, Panther tanks, Storm Grenadiers. I'm thinking the 78th Sturm Division guys, Panzer IV, Panzer 470, Armored Panzer Grenadier, Stug Assault Gun Battery, Panzer Grenadier Company, and Reconnaissance Company. Now the difference between the Armored Panzer Grenadier and the Panzer Grenadier Company, the regular Panzer Grenadier Company either went to battle on foot or in trucks, whereas the Armored Panzer Grenadier Companies were the guys who were in the half-tracks. Now if you turn and you look on the back of the card, you'll find that there are support units, and it tells you how many of each kind of support unit that you can have. You also have your movement orders also, okay, which is copied, relentlessly, and that's okay. That's okay. But hey, you're not here for those two cards. You're here for the main show, aren't you? Of course you are. Wouldn't expect anything else. And my cat decided to have a little bit of fun right now. Okay. And the cat might strike again. I don't know. I can't control this. I can't control this beast. Yes, you are a spoiled cat. And now you are forever on the internet. I hope you're happy with yourself. Okay, so let's get going, guys. So here we have our Tiger tank, Panther tank, and on the backs, it'll give you the point values for them. Here is your, oh, there's the cat. Okay, here's your half-track transport. This is your SMG 34 machine gun platoon that is mounted on half tracks. Okay. And this is for the 8 centimeter mortar section. That's the 81 millimeter mortar section mounted in a half track. Now you have these guys here, which is Confident Veteran. I'm going to set them off to the side because there's a second one. I'm kind of wondering if it's a duplicate or what is the difference. Here's your short barrel 75 millimeter. Okay, you got your grill, which is a 150 millimeter gun, useful for indirect fire support, but also direct fire support. Okay, flank throwers mounted in half tracks. Okay, you got your SMG 34 machine gun platoon. You'd say, wait, what about the MG42s? Well, the MG42s were also there, but they still had some of those SMG 34s. Okay, 50 millimeter anti-tank gun. And here is the other card. So let's see if we compare these side by side. Okay, all the stats look the same. Checking on the back. Okay, I see. Okay, all right, I see the difference. And I didn't read it on the title card. This one is for an entire platoon, which you can get up to 6 of these mortars. And then here it's a section which just gives you 2. All right, that makes total sense. Okay. Infantry Gun 75 millimeter platoon. That can be a bit of a headache for the enemy. 150 millimeter gun platoon. Again, you can do artillery support, but you can also do direct fire, which is kind of nasty because that firepower is auto. The Hornice, the Hornet. Okay. Thin skin all around, as you can tell with the front and side armor, but that 88 packs a punch with an anti-tank rating of 17. No, you can't play this in Team Yankee. No. Although it'd be kind of interesting, it probably could take out, your lighter tanks and your APCs, but your main battle tanks, no. 75 millimeter AT gun platoon, again useful. Here's the Wesp for self-propelled artillery. Wasp, English translation. The Hummel, the Bumblebee. Okay. Except this has got a bigger thing here. We got a bigger gun. Here we have our 105mm artillery. Here we have our 150mm Nebelwerfer rocket launchers. Here is one of the oldest German armored cars out there. So guess what? They still used it. Okay. And here is the 231, which is a little bit more armored. Okay. Here's the half-track mounted with the 37mm gun on it, I believe. No, I'm sorry, the 20mm gun. This is for the Quad 20. I also want to point out, when you buy this kit, you can do that as a ground mount, or you can mount that on the half-track, which I was kind of surprised they didn't do this as a ground mount in mid-war. So 88mm AT platoon, yeah, it's still useful against tanks, believe me. Stuka dive bomber. Here's the Stuka tank hunter with the 37mm guns. The Wagon. So 37mm mounted on a Panzer IV chassis. Okay, the famous Panzer IV, confident veteran. 120mm mortar platoon, again, confident veteran. Recon platoon. Okay, here's the shorter half-track transport. Here's the 81mm mortar version of it. The short barrel 75mm version of it. The Puma. Wow, guys love Pumas in their units. I don't know why. There were not that many made. I think I've seen more on the table in my time playing than what was actually made. Same thing with Tigers and Panthers, oh my. A scout version of the half-track with a 20mm gun on it. The Panzer IV, again, mounted on the Panzer IV chassis. Here's the anti-tank version of the 88mm. Yeah, knock knock, who's there? Here is the Panzer III OP observation post. Okay. Let's keep going here. Now this is what I was wondering, why they didn't have this in the mid-war on the ground. Because they definitely had that. They would dig them in, for crying out loud. But that might be the difference between version 3 and version 4, I guess. And they have to limit the number of SKUs. That would be my guess. Here is your armored car with a short barrel 75mm gun. And the ubiquitous Grenadierin. Here is your Grenadier HQ. Here's your Grenadier Platoon. They still had them. Here's the Storm Grenadier. Now, really, what's the difference? They're both confident veteran. Oops. Hang on. And then it doesn't want to come off. Come on. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, if I put them next to each other, the difference is that the Sturm Grenadier, they have more firepower. That's the thing. That's where they've got the advantage. Grenadier Scout Platoon. The Stug Assault Battery. Okay, and that was the HQ. This is the Stug Assault Battery. Again, Fearless Veteran. Oof. And you pay in points for that. There's the Escort Platoon, armed with the STG-44s. If they had mass-produced those, oof. That would be bad. Okay. Hetzer. Okay. Little tank destroyer. Word on the street is that the crews did not like fighting in the Hetzer because it was a rather awkward layout. Okay, and that was the HQ. This is the regular platoon. Here's our Tiger. Tiger HQ. Panther HQ. Panzer IV HQ. Here's our Stug tank platoon. Okay. How they stick. Okay, here's the Panzer 470 tank hunter. Tank company. Here it is the tank platoon. Again, these are confident veterans. Okay, the Wirbelwind, which is the whirlwind. That's another way of saying whirlwind. Okay, quad 20mm mounted on there. Nasty against infantry and aircraft. Here's the Ostwind with the single 37 millimeter on it. Otherwise, it's just like a verbal wind, except the number of barrels in the caliber is a bit bigger. Panzer Grenadier, the Armored Panzer Grenadier Company HQ, again, with the half-tracks. That's the thing. They can do things like assault. Okay. Alright, so with that, yeah, Panzer Grenadier, Armored Panzer Grenadier Platoon. Okay. And there's the regular Panzer Grenadier Company. There's the Panzer Grenadier Platoon. Okay, here's the Recon Company. And again, you can look at the difference between which, if it's an HQ or not. If you look at the HQ, there's the laurel of wreaths, and then it says HQ on it. So that tells you. In order to have a company, you need the HQ. That's mandatory. Here's the Martyr. This is another tank destroyer. You've seen a mock-up of this on Saving Private Ryan if you've ever seen the movie, but I don't believe that's the actual Martyr. Although pretty impressive. Okay, here's the Elephant. It is not that they are necessarily gone after Kursk, but they were seeing rather limited use. They're big, they're clunky, their armor on the front is nasty. It's a 16. Really hard, but the Russians found what our tanks can't do, our infantry will do. The Brumbar, the Grizzly, with that nice 150 millimeter gun there. Choose direct fire or indirect fire. It's still nasty. Cannot imagine how many shells that thing would carry in there. Here's the Panzerwerfer 42 battery, so think rocket launcher mounted on an armored half-track. And then we have the other OP, the small half-track. I can never pronounce this. Okay, but it is the 250. It is the observation post. And there you have it. Here it is. I already made this one once before, but I've been learning with the new camera. So you got to miss the actual unboxing, if you will, but I went over it with you guys, give you some ideas, give you a few factoids, things like that. Hey, I hope this benefited you guys, okay? Because Flames of War is still a fun game. In the near future, there's going to be another solo game coming up, but it's not with Flames of War this time. It is another game with Battle Group. Just letting you guys know, giving the rules a try. Okay, you guys take care. Have a good day, and God bless you.